Hey guys, happy Friday. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. Thanks replay viewers and hello YouTube viewers. This is up on YouTube at Penguin and Fish Movies. It will go up there when we're done being live here on Facebook, and it will stay on the Penguin and Fish page on Facebook as well. We are working on block 88 of the Splendid Sampler quilt along. These adorable little doves. Love, peace, joy. It's so cute. We did the love last night, and we're going to continue it tonight. So I'm going to flip you guys around, and we will get started for the evening. Hey guys, thanks for coming in tonight. Happy Friday. Hope all is well. We are working on the Splendid Sampler quilt along. You can find out more info at thesplendidsampler.com. We are on block 88 of 100. We are getting towards the end of this, but there's still plenty of time to join. It is free right now. It'll be free through the end of the project, I believe, and we're on block 88. Here it is, an embroidered block. We started it last night. It's probably reversed right now for you guys, but it's got these two cute little birds. We got a good start last night, stitching the first word on. I think we're going to stitch one of the birds tonight. Just kind of, it's fun stitching animals, so I'm like, I was going to do all the words first, but now I'm like, I want to do a bird, so we're going to do that. If you're new here, my name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make lovely and quirky hand embroidery patterns and kits. I'm the author of Sew and Stitch Embroidery and a fabric designer, and I'm here every night at 9:30 p.m. Central. Thanks guys again for being here this Friday. Let me know how your week went, and if you're taking it easy now, that'd be good. So alright, I'm going to flip you guys around and we'll get going. Okay, here we are. So I'm going to put it into my embroidery hoop. Hey Kathleen! Alright, so I think I'm going to do this bird tonight, close to this love, because then we can keep kind of basting our sticky fabric selfie down. I have a embroidery stabilizer on here. You can kind of see it looks like this little paper. What's awesome about it is I can print the design right to it, and that means I don't have to trace anything. I don't have to worry about transferring. All I do is print it out on this piece. It sticks like a sticker, and it washes off in water, like it dissolves in water. So here's the product if you wanted to check it out. It's by Sulky. This is the company, and it's sticky Faber-Selvi, and it goes on, it sticks on, comes off with water, and I like using it in the 8.5 by 11 size because then I can run it through my printer pretty easily. But if you get it on the roll, you can always cut off a piece and put it on a normal piece of paper and then run it through your printer. That works as well. But I like it just, oh, you bought it on the roll today. I do like it on the roll because then you get a lot of it. But yeah, you can still run the roll through your printer. You just gotta, get a normal piece of paper and then stick it to that, or just tape it to it with the backing paper still on. And then it should work perfectly fine. I haven't had any problems with it with the printer. So all right, I'm gonna do this guy here. So I'm kind of centering it a little bit as best I can. I'm not this way because I'm kind of out of fabric over there. Oh, 50% off at Joann's. That's nice. Oh, at Joanna's. That's funny that you're autocorrect. But it's Joanna's. All right, I want to get this Faber-Selvi in there. There we go. So my Faber-Selvi is not sticking as well as it usually does. I talked about that last night, just because it's so dry in our house here now. With winter is here, and the cold is sucking all the moisture out of the air, so it's not sticking quite as well. So you can baste it all the way around with some stitches, but I thought, meh, that sounds like extra work. So I'm just dealing with it. So now I got a little bit of it down in here, so that'll hold it kind of tight that way, and we're working around the corners and getting it all down. So I have some leftover thread from when we did that last night. 2 sets of 2. We're stitching with four strands. I'm going to just do the thing where I separate this and put it back together. I know that sounds crazy because I have just 2 here. I can put my 2 sets of 2 together to make 4. But I don't know. I've heard that it lays flatter when you take them all out separately. I just grab a thread and let the other side dangle underneath the fingers, and then lay them all out again. So let's do that here too. I don't know. I haven't really done this where I keep separating all the threads and, no matter what. So I thought I'd give it a try. I'm using 4 strands tonight just because I want, with this project, I want a thicker line, and the more number of strands you have, the thicker your line's going to be in your stitching. And I also am stitching a split stitch. I'm going to snip the ends of these. I think this will be our starting end. Now I have a nice clean point, or clean edge. But I'm using a split stitch, and in a split stitch, you come up through your stitch right in the middle of the last stitch, and you divide your stitches in half. So since I have 4, it'll be easier for me to put like two threads on one side and 2 threads on the other instead of trying to split 3 strands, which that doesn't work as well. So, all right, I think I'm going to start with his wing here and get all these little feathers, and then, I don't know, come up around this way maybe. I don't know. I think that sounds as good as anything, so let's do that. I think I'm going to start with an away knot again, just because I could weave in the end here and then jump, to here, but then I think since I have a white background, you might be able to see that jump on the back. So I think I'm going to start with an away knot again. I'm not doing just a knot on the back because I don't want any knots on the back of my piece, just because my stitches get caught on the knots on the back when I do it, and I think it lies flatter without knots, and I don't know, I'm kind of into the no knots on the back. So I made a knot in my thread, and I'm going about 4 inches or 3 inches or so away from where I'm going to start. Just away, out of my way, not in any of my stitch area. And I'm going to start stitching with that there, and we will come back to that when I'm done stitching. But after this one, I'm not going to do it again for this bird. But the purpose of this is to eventually weave in that end. So for a split stitch, I made that 1 stitch like that, and now I'm going to come up a little ways from where if my stitch is like 1/4 of an inch, then I'm going back like a 32nd of an inch or something like that. And I'm splitting my stitch in half. So I have 2 strands on one side and 2 strands on the other. That's kind of what I'm doing here. And then you come up. It's making just a little teeny stitch on the back there. And that is my first stitch. I'm splitting it kind of right in half there. And then I'm just going to keep going. So we'll do like a longer stitch, like a little less than 1/4 inch or so, then a teeny tiny stitch where we come up and split it through that last one. And that's the split stitch. It's kind of like the back stitch for a look, kind of, except for instead of all the little beads that you get with the back stitch, that you can see every little perfect bead, it kind of all blends together as one big organic line, I think. So I thought I'd use it because the line weight, like how heavy the lines are in this pattern, like these are pretty thick lines, I thought, in the design. It reminded me of just a split stitch, how I could, with more strands of a split stitch, I could make just like a heavy organic line. And so that's what I'm doing. No other reason. You can use whatever stitch you want, and it's going to still turn out super cute. I think they suggest, Pat Wys, the designer, suggests using a stem stitch. But we're doing a stem stitch for that hand embroidery from a couple weeks ago, and I'm not done with that, so I thought I'd try a different stitch for this one. Hey, Anna. Sorry, I'm not saying hi to everyone tonight. I'm glancing up and down at the camera. I like this blue color though. I think this blue really pops. All right, so I'm gonna just, my last stitch is just gonna be to the point of the wing. I'm gonna start on the next area. So on these curves, my stitches will probably be a hair shorter because the more stitches in a curve, the more curvy it looks. You know, less jaggedy. All right, yeah, I'm gonna make little stitches so I can get this curve pretty. My family's still here. They're watching Love Actually, so I'm gonna have to pick it up again a little later. That's one of those ones I saw when it came out, Love Actually, but then I forgot. Like all I remember about it is that it's like a bunch of different stories at once, and everyone keeps talking about it as like, oh, it's just the best Christmas whatever, and I never can remember what it's like. So, all right, I'm going to jump up and do some of these stitches because we're kind of in that area. Then I don't have to go back and do them. I think I'm just going to do one big stitch for this. Luckily, I have those 4 strands of thread, so it's nice and thick, so this is still going to make a really nice thick line. We're going to do that. I think we'll do this in 2 stitches. This one has kind of a curve to it. Oh, and my mom told me to say hi to everyone. So, hi from my mom. They're still here. They are snowed in here. We're in the middle of a storm, a winter storm warning right now. It's actually not too bad here. I mean, it's doable, but it's supposed to get like super cold, like -30, and then super windy too, or -20 or something like that with a wind chill. So it's that blowing snow that's going to be the problem. So they're stuck here longer, which is fine with me. I don't know. She's not going to do that probably, but I don't know. Maybe one of these days. But she said to say hi at least. I'm in Minneapolis. Cold tonight. Oh, sure. So I talked a little bit about it at the beginning, but I'm using a fabric, an embroidery stabilizer. You can find it, like, if you're at Joann's or something, it's in the aisle with all the stabilizers, that really confusing aisle that has all those stabilizers in. This one is called Sticky. It's by Selkie, and it's Sticky Fabricelvi. Whether you get it, like, this is the 8.5 by 11 sheets, which I love because you can just run it right through the printer. But it comes on a roll too, and I think the roll is more readily available. I have this on my website at penguinandfish.com, but at Joann's and stuff you can get it on the roll. And what it is you can run it through your printer, and that's the magic of it, because then I don't have to. I'm gonna get part of this wing here. I'm not gonna do the whole wing. I'm gonna come up this way and do this. But I like using it because I can print my design out right on it. I don't have to trace the design, which is amazing. That's my least favorite part of embroidery. I think it's a huge barrier to embroidery, the transferring, because unless you have an iron-on pattern, it's just kind of, you have to trace it or use carbon paper or something, and this kind of takes all that away. You just print it out and stick it on. The roll is great. Yeah, so the roll, do you have problems getting the type on the roll to go through the printer? you shouldn't, oh, like in reverse. Oh, no, so what I'm doing is I'm not printing it in reverse. I'm just printing it directly in the correct position, and then it pulls off like a sticker, and then I stick it on like a sticker. So you don't have to worry about printing the pattern in reverse or anything like that if that's what you're asking. So no, you don't have to worry about it at all. You're just printing as if you're just printing a printout, the normal, like how you want it to look in the end. So with the roll, what I do, because the roll of sticky Faber-Solvi is, I think, more readily available. Like you can find it at your big craft store. But those, what I do is I would get a normal piece of paper, like a normal piece of, 8.5, printer paper, and I would take the roll and I would cut off a piece that would fill the area. Actually, what I would really do is I would print this on a piece of paper first, like this, and then I would tape, or I would take the roll and I would only cut a piece that fills this area, and then I'd run it through the printer again, and it'll print like, in the exact spot. That's actually how I would do that. But yeah, and then it just, it has a piece of paper on the back of this, and you can just pull the backer paper off, and then it sticks to whatever surface, and then it'll come off in water. When I'm doing it on my own, I just run it under the sink, and I just kind of really, rub it with my fingers until I can feel all the stuff come off. When I do it here on the live streams, which I will do when I'm done with this, but when I do that, I'm going to get these little guys in again. I will do that with a couple bowls of water. So you can just kind of agitate it in a little bowl of water. I always have two bowls, so I have a bowl that I do it in first, and then when that gets kind of full of all the residue of this, then I'll move it to a clean bowl of water and then keep doing it in there. That's pretty much my process for that. And we'll do that here once I get this done. You cut your roll into sheets and weigh them down. Oh, so that's a good idea. So you're basically making your own printer sheets out of it. You're cutting the roll to 8.5 by 11 or so sheets, and then laying them flat, or like putting a book on them or something. So it, the roll shape goes away. That works. But yeah, it's nice. The roll's nice because you can just, with a piece this size, you can just put, the little area that you need to print on it. You don't have to use the whole sheet. So that's kind of a benefit of the roll. But it is nice and quick just to throw an 8.5 by 11 one in there too. There we go. All right, let's go up this guy's little face now. But I would rather have, oh, your sheets next time. Oh, that's nice. You cut a piece of 8-inch long and put it in the printer in draft. I don't know what that means, but cut an 8-inch long. Yeah, so that I think I get what you're saying. You're cutting a piece to the length of what a printer page kind of would be and putting in. That's good. So I was kind of like starting from the part that's behind, like this back wing is the farthest behind, and now I'm stitching something that's on top of it, the head, because I like the stitches to be on top, the pieces that are the furthest or the closest to you. So like this head is closer to us than the back wing, so I'm putting it the stitches in front of the back wing. Ooh, and I think you know what? I thought I felt something, so I got a mess. I lost one of my threads, so let's pull that stitch out. Good. So that's like what just happened there. I lost one of my, draft. You put it in draft format, Anna. Okay, so it doesn't, I get that. So it doesn't use as much ink. That makes sense. So, all right, I'm going to trim this again. My edge is getting funny. I think I have a little piece here that, I think I have a little stitch on the front here that was a little loose. One of the strands was loose. I actually might pull on that a little bit. It's one of these in here. there, right there. Oh, we'll just leave it, but little loose stitch. But I lost one of my strands here. One of them pulled out. But since I have my hand, my left hand, I always have working on the back. I'm always kind of feeling when I pull the thread in and out, and it felt funny. And when I looked, I only had 3 strands, and the other one was bunched up down there. That's how I knew that right away. So like right now when I'm making a stitch, so instead of just putting my stitch in, like here I'm putting my stitch in. You know, this is where I would do the stitch. So back here, instead of doing nothing, what I'm really doing is I'm pulling the thread out of my way, and then I'm doing the stitch, and that'll help. And then I'm pulling it through, and you know, I'm using my finger to help keep it not free, you know, so I can always feel with my finger what's going on in the back. So that's how I knew, like, oh, there's a thread off, because I could feel it in the back. And, you know, then when I pull the thread through, I'm always feeling it with my finger. I'm just basically covering my stitch area with my finger, just to, you know, it's like embroidery braille a little bit, I guess. You can just kind of feel what's happening on the back. And you can also keep the threads away from each other so they don't knot each other up. Hello. All right. Going around this guy's head, and we are almost out of thread already. We went through it pretty fast. I mean, we used up a bunch on this away knot, but again, we're not going to do that again. And I'll show you why. We'll be weaving that in, and we'll be weaving in all our other stitches. And if this is a dark fabric in the background, I would have just jumped from here over to the bird. But because it's a white background and this is a dark thread, I don't want to make a lot of leaps like that, because I think you'll be able to see them through the back. You know what? Let's do this eye. So I'm going to do a little French knot here. So for French knots, you pull up on the thread, and then you come around and you point your needle away from the fabric, away from your hole there, and then wrap it around twice, and then you're going to point it towards the hole. Then put it in the fabric again, not in the exact same spot. You want it like a few threads away. I'm just going to go on the other side of this eyeball, actually. So not the same hole. Put the needle in a little, then pull the thread tight so it's against the fabric and your needle. Then you want to put a finger or thumb there just to hold that knot in place, those loops in place. Otherwise, it'll make a big knot. And then I'm going to slowly pull the thread through until I can feel it stop. And there we go. Little French knot, little eyeball. Now I'm going to pick up where I left off here. I think I'm gonna go around this beak quick. And then I'll come back. Because again, I'm doing like the thing that's furthest back. I'm stitching that first, so the thing that's furthest forward can, let's just go all the way here right away. The thing that's furthest forward can be in front. So this I'm not really doing a split stitch, it's just like one long stitch. Let's try and get that in the same hole. There we go. Alright, I only have a little bit of thread left. You know what, I think let's go up this this little what is this? Looks almost like a little clover. Maybe it's an olive I don't know. It's not very Christmassy if it's a clover. This seems kind of like a Christmassy type block. I don't know. He's holding something, a little olive branch or something. Isn't that what the little doves usually hold in designs? I'm not quite sure. All right, let's start stitching around these, and then we're almost out of thread here. I think I'll do like one more stitch here, and then we'll call it. And I will grab another piece of floss. So, all right, when I have about 3 inches or so on the end of my floss, this is about 4 inches, that'll be a little easier, I weave it into the backs of whatever stitches are nearby, kind of like that, and then I weave it back and forth 3 times. So that was 1, this is 2, and I try and grab as much thread as I can, and this allows me to not have any knots on the back, which makes it just like really nice and flat, and my thread's not going to catch on any of the knots, and you don't have any little fuzzles hanging up. So all right, I'm going to just trim that. And now we have our away knot that we did at the beginning here. Remember this guy right here? I'm going to cut him off, and it'll go to the back. So now we have 1 long strand there too that we can weave in. So we're only doing it that time. Next time when we start the next thread, we'll just weave into the backs of some of these stitches we already have. I don't need to. I needed to do the away knot the first time just because I didn't have any stitches to weave it in that were close enough. I had it in this piece over here, but I didn't want to jump. Like I said, I have light fabric and dark thread, so if I jump from here to here, to here, I would have you'd be able to see there we go. You'd be able to see the thread, the little jump from the front, and I didn't want that. Ooh, there we go. I don't usually stitch with 4 strands of thread, and 4 strands are a whole lot thicker. Or they seem a whole lot thicker than 3 strands, so it's a little more difficult to pull through, but there we are. There we go. All right, let's trim that. And we'll get some more floss. But here we are so far, so we got to start on that guy. I'm going to do the whole thing with this color. I just kind of like it. I think there's so much going on in the background that we can do 1 color. And, you know, 1 color looks pretty on just a simple background, too. But, I don't know. For some reason, with the Splendid Sampler, I've been really liking the 1 color thing. And I'm thinking maybe it's because it's not a standalone piece. The embroidery, it's part of a bigger whole. So I think maybe I like just, you know, it's a little simpler looking. It'll blend in with the whole a little bit more. All right. So I'm going to grab my 4 strands out of this again. And, you know, again, I could just pull out 2 and I'd have 4 left over, but I'm trying to do that thing where I pull out all the strands individually and then lay them, like it should lay flatter if I pull them all out individually, supposedly. So we're kind of giving that idea a try. So I'm just letting it gather behind as I just pull out 1. I isolate 1 strand like that. I have to let this all relax. So I pull out the 1 strand, grab the rest of my fingers, and just, oop, got stuck in my shirt. Then just pull on it. It looks like a crazy knot, but it all releases, and you can just let it relax like that. And we need 1 more, so isolate 1 more. There we go. All right, and these other 2 strands we will use later when we get another thread prepared. All right, let's put these back together. I didn't used to do it this way. I'm kind of giving it a try. I like how easy it is to pull the 1 strand out. That's kind of nice. I used to just, you know, pull as many strands as I needed and slowly pull it out, and that's fine too. But this really is quick and easy, and you don't really have to worry too much about knots. Okay, there we go. Alrighty, I need my needle. Let's pick it up on this flower and then jump back up to the bird body. Just cut a piece of Sylvia off my roll, just about the size of the block. Tape it down on all 4 corners and sides and ran it through the printer. No problem. Perfect. That's awesome, Donna. I love it. Yeah, that's what's nice about the roll is you can just use the amount that you need if you tape it to a piece of paper. Yay! Awesome. Okay, let's pick it up where we left off. Oh, let's weave it in. So I'm going to weave it back and forth on the other side about there. Where is that? Oh, like right here. Well, yeah. Kind of where we started. Or where we ended last time, really. So it'll be a little thick there, but that's okay. I still like that better than a knot. I'll leave a little end there. I didn't tie a knot in this time because we are going to just trim that off right away. I'm not doing the away knot, so I didn't need a knot there. You know, I think this is DMC, however, I'm not positive. I've had this thread since, you know, I don't know, I was 12 maybe, and making friendship bracelets. So this is me using up thread I've had for a long time. But since that's the case, I suspect that it's DMC. It's actually, I can pretty well say it's DMC. It would be either DMC or one of those packs of really cheap stuff, but I can tell that it's not the pack of really cheap stuff because it's shiny. It just feels really soft and nice, and mostly because of the sheen. A lot of times on the cheap stuff, it's a little fuzzier. It doesn't have like this nice sheen. So I'm guessing it's DMC, which I like using. It's a good, everyday, very nice, well-made thread. You can get fancy stuff, and that's fun to work with too. But you know, this is easy to get, and I like it. All right, so let's continue this little clover. I'm calling it a clover. It looks like a clover. I don't know what it is. All right, I'm just splitting that last stitch. Let's get a better position here. And as far as, you know, how I'm holding it, I just kind of hold it how it's easiest to work. And for me, it's easiest to work, I don't know, kind of from right to left. So I'm just always kind of rotating it. So I'm going right to left. And I don't, you know, maybe it doesn't look like I'm doing it all the time. It's just kind of whatever feels best in your hand and where your motions are simplified the best, where it doesn't feel like you're awkward. And then I just keep rotating it. It's kind of like how you learn to cut with the scissors when you're little. You rotate the paper, not the scissors. That's kind of what I feel like. I'm rotating the piece, not my like right to left deal. So we're just gonna go around these cute little guys. So now here I'm making my stitches a whole lot smaller, and I'm trying to catch the thread again when I'm splitting it. Just because these are tight curves, and if I didn't do it like this, I'd have like little like diamond looking things versus round shapes. So I like doing the little stitches for the curves. Like now here I'll do a bigger stitch because it's just a little straight area. All right, let's work on this little guy here. Actually, this looks a whole lot like a color I use in my embroidery kits. So, oh man, I wonder if I could guess the number of it. I don't have it written down on the floss, but let's see if I can remember. I think 973 is my lighter colored blue, so that might not be this one, but maybe it is. Can't remember. I'm trying to remember a number offhand. That's probably totally wrong. All right, here's my last stitch for this little loopy deal. And then we'll pick up this last one, and then I'll just jump back up to, you know, up here where the beak is again. And we'll, how are we doing on time? We'll just stitch till this thread's done and call it a night again. It's kind of we kind of get 2 threads done a night. So I'll eventually get this done. I am still hopefully doing these Saturday mini marathons. I always say that before I plan my week, so I'm just kind of assuming that that'll still happen. So tomorrow is Saturday. Sheesh. So yeah, so Saturday, I've been doing my little mini marathon from 10. I started at 10 Central a.m. and I'll go a couple hours. And we'll see. I'll have to pick out a project to work on. This one I won't work on because this one I'll save for our evening live stream. So this one I'll work on again tomorrow evening. So I'm going to have to look through my unfinished blocks and see what I got going on there that we can work on. Maybe we'll work on a bunch of handwork stuff because then I don't have to, I won't have to get my sewing machine out. I can just leave all this handwork stuff out that I have for this embroidery. So we do have a lot of handwork. There's a pile of embroidery to do, and I have a lot of paper piecing. You know what? I have a lot of needle turn applique too. I mean, actually, most of my unfinished blocks are handwork now that I think of it. So why don't we do that? We'll do some sort of handwork for the my little mini marathon tomorrow. I think that sounds like a plan. But again, this guy will save for the evening. But maybe we'll work on the hand. We got that other embroidery that I'm really enjoying working on, but I haven't worked on it for a little while. That's the one with the hand. So I think that's the plan. We'll start on the hand, and I'll dig around and see what else I got going on there. There's some really old. Maybe I'll pull out. My oldest unfinished block is block 26, and that's the Dresden block. If you guys remember that one, that was a while ago, block 26. But that one I was gonna needle turn, so let's needle turn applique. So let's see. I'll pull that out and maybe we'll work on that guy a little too. So maybe some embroidery and maybe some work on that Dresden block tomorrow, because man, it feels crazy to still have one from way far back as back as block 26 still unfinished. So that'd feel good to get that one a little further, I think. Oh, I like this little birds coming together. He's so sweet. This design's so cute, I think. I'm liking him. So we are in a snow warning. I'm gonna have to check the window when we're done here, see if the snow is accumulating. It's kind of funny because it's snowing that little snow where it barely feels like it's snowing. It's just tiny little flakes that flutter around, and you're like, oh, this is nothing. It's hardly snowing. But then you wake up the next morning and there's like 7 inches of snow because those little fluttery flakes just kept on coming, and you know, then you have accumulation. So I'm kind of excited to see what it looks like tomorrow morning. But then it's supposed to get sunny again, which means it's supposed to get the negative bajillion outside. It was actually pretty nice today. It was like 8 degrees today. Super warm. Alright. Going around these little taily feathers. They're pretty cute. So I'm not really going left or right to left anymore, am I? I'm just kind of going down now. Again, it's however it feels the best. I mean, right now I have, you don't miss the snow. Heat wave, yeah. Right now, it's all kind of where I can hold on to the hoop too. So now I'm going in a downward direction just because it's easier to hold the hoop. All right, I'm gonna get this guy here. I think I'm gonna get him in one. I'll do 2 just because then I can get a slight curve to it. I could have done it 1 stitch, but then it would be really straight. By doing 2 stitches, I kind of can angle the second stitch to make it look like a curve. Just a hair. I'll just jump back down here. Split this last stitch. Yeah, I like the snow. It's the cold and like the blistering wind, all that. That's just, ugh, I could do without that. But I got one of those hats. I've been talking about this hat forever now. I just love it. I forget what it's called. They call it like a heater or whatever, but that's not the real name, I don't think. But it's one of those hats that has fur on the inside and it goes all the way around the sides of your face and clips at the bottom. Oh man. There's something about keeping your cheeks warm like that that makes your whole body warm. It's like the best. It's kind of my favorite thing of the winter so far. This hat. I'm always cold whenever I walk outside, and man, I'm not feeling like that this year because I got that hat. It's just kind of magic. All right, let's see. I think we're going to do this one in a couple stitches just because it's long. I think I'm actually going to come down back the other way and split it like a reverse split stitch or something, just because then my needle ends up closer to back here. Got my Carhartt jacket. Oh yes, and I had to wear it today. Oh man, so it must be. It's cold there by you too, Donna. Those are nice coats. My husband had one of those for a little while. Big and warm. All right, here's the last one of this little tail bit. We'll start up the next part. There we go. Yep. Now I'm going kind of in the opposite direction than I usually go, but again, it's just because it feels best holding the hoop like this. Or maybe it doesn't. Maybe I should rotate it. See what happens. Let's get this feather thing here. Then we'll come back down to where we left off. Oops, almost pulled my thread out. I think we'll do this one in 3 stitches just to get that curve there. Here, I'll do this one the other way again so I can get back to where I left off on the tail. Just kind of piercing it that way. All right, now back down here. Running out of floss. Yeah, I think we'll end it up here when I'm done with this floss and call it an evening. So then tomorrow, again, I will do the mini marathon in the morning at 10, and then I'll have my normal scope in the evening at 9:30. That's Central Time. Get some of these blacks done. I'm still thinking about doing that embroidery kind of stitch along after we finish the Splendid Sampler. I don't want to do it right after, but I have like the entire alphabet of cute little animals, and I thought that might be fun. So I'm still hoping to do that too. So more embroidery in the new year, I think. In the spring, it'll be like maybe a spring thing. All right, almost done here. I'll do this in 3 too and jump back. Cute. I like him. He's so cute. This little birdie. we'll just have that little wing, and then we can, maybe we'll jump to the piece in the middle. Piece word after this. Kind of working my way down from top to bottom, I guess. Seems as good as any way to do it. Not gonna do some bigger stitches because it's a straightaway. Yeah, I think it is too. It's going pretty quick. I mean, you know, it's still embroidery. It's still gonna take longer than a pieced block. You know, than some of these ones that we've been getting done in the allotted time, but it's still not too bad. I think it helps doing one stitch and one color. That seems to be, you know, a time saver. Why don't we let's get this thing right away. This little extra wing ding here. We'll do that in 3. Just to get that little arc out of it. And then from the top down again to kind of work ourselves backwards. All right. Catch back up with this one, and we'll go around this wing. We will definitely not have enough thread, so we'll have to come back to this wing later, which is sort of a bummer. It's a bummer when you leave a little bit of this left over, but we'll have to figure it out. We'll come back and fill her in. We'll just jump right up here. Let's try and get a few more stitches in. But yeah, I think this one is going faster. This is actually a smaller space that we're trying to fill because we actually, when we're done with this block, it has a little border yet. So this is all in like a 5.5 inch area versus a 6.5 inch. So this is a smaller thing to stitch. So that makes it seem faster too. So I think this is going to be my last stitch right here, and I'm gonna weave in those ends now. I think it's so cute from the back, all these little running stitches. So let's just grab a few stitches here. You know what, I think I'm gonna go up this way. All right, so back and forth 3 times. This is the second one. And one more. Just kind of catching a bunch of threads. Maybe use the 2 strings left. Yeah, so I'll probably do that. And once I grab a few more threads, maybe oh yeah, I could do the 4, I see what you're saying. I could do the 2 strands doubled up. So I do have the 2 strands left. I could double them up, you know, like that and make 4. You know what? I think that's a good idea because then I'll have a shorter thread and it'll probably be just the right amount. I think that's a great idea. So we'll do that. We'll start there on tomorrow night when we work on this again. All right, I'm gonna take it out of the hoop so we can just kind of look at it. But that's a great idea, Anna. I'm gonna do that. Anna, let me know if I'm pronouncing your name right, if it's Anna or Anna, just so I'm, you know, not going on forever pronouncing your name wrong. All right, so let's just tighten this up so it holds itself together. And there we are. There is, you know, so we did that last night, this night, tonight, so I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4 more sessions worth maybe for the embroidery, and then we still have the sewing to do around. So maybe let's call it 5 sessions, between 4 and 5 sessions to finish this. I think if I'm estimating. So not too bad for an embroidery, but definitely longer than what our final piece is gonna do. It's okay. So Anna's okay. All right, good. Thanks, Anna. Alrighty, so I think we're done here for the evening. I'm gonna flip you around and we'll call it night. A little early tonight, but I think that's better than starting a whole new thread. Hey guys, hello again. All right, woo, wiggle, there we go. So here it is. I'm stitching on, I have this little piece of fabric left. I decided not to cut it out because I don't have much left, so I thought I'd leave it. It's annoying stitching with all this extra fabric. I wouldn't really recommend it. I'd say cut down your piece, but I'm trying to preserve my fabric a little, but there we are, looking cute. I think this blue is going to be really subtle on here, and I'm kind of into it. So, all right, this will go up on Penguin and Fish Movies and on YouTube. And, the mini marathon, I'm going to do blocks that I haven't done yet, or that I'm not done with yet. I want to keep our current block. I'll just stick to the evenings. So we'll pick this up on, a mini marathon, you're right. So I won't do this mini marathon, this block, but next Saturday might be the mini marathon for this one. That's true. I've been tending to want to finish the ones that are the most recent, so it's a good prediction that we'll do this next Saturday. So, all right, I will catch you guys tomorrow for the mini marathon, which will start at 10 a.m. Central. We'll go for a couple hours. At minimum, we'll just do 1 hour like our normal live stream here, but it'll probably be more like 2, or it could go up to 4. So we'll see. We'll just see how we feel, and see how it goes. So, all right, and then we'll do our normal one at 9:30 tomorrow as well. So thanks again, guys. That is the deal for tonight. Yeah, so we might do block 26 for the mini marathon tomorrow, and maybe some embroidery. I think we'll do a little bit of embroidery first, and then maybe hop into that block 26. That's my oldest block. That's got to get done sometime here. So, all right, guys, I am going to head out. Thanks again for coming in, and I will see you tomorrow. You guys are the bestest. Good night.